All right, so the other year I did a video on the top 5 most comfortable waterproof sneakers. In this video, I wanted to give you guys kind of an updated list for 2025. So hopefully you guys find this video informative. Let's go ahead and jump in. Now, first things first, I did want to mention that this is just my opinion. Obviously, everybody has a different opinion on what comfort is. On the last video, I saw a ton of different comments saying other waterproof sneaker ideas as well that they tried and they really, really love, like a pair of Salomons I saw on there, and just a whole bunch of other brands. So if you guys have other suggestions for other people of pairs that you guys like, leave a comment and let other people know maybe why. I do appreciate all those comments, as well as I'm sure other people do as well, just because there's so many different options for waterproof sneakers nowadays. The game has elevated a lot from the last 2 or 3 years, and I love seeing brands reach out and use Gore-Tex on their sneakers to give us the best options for waterproof uppers, but then pairing that with foam technologies that we know and love in the running sneaker space specifically, because they make the best like cushioning for sneakers. So this is my list based on comfort, based on my feet. Again, if you guys have a difference in opinion, it is all good. If you guys do want to buy any of the ones I'm talking about in this video, I will link them all in the description of the video. And if you guys use those links, it directly supports the channel and my family when you guys do that. Helps me be able to do the YouTube full time. So greatly appreciate anybody that uses those links. Also, some of these pairs I haven't done detailed reviews of yet because I bought them specifically for this video. So check back on the channel. I will be doing updated detailed reviews of each of the new pairs that I got. So starting off at the number 10 spot, we do have a pair of the Adidas Terrex Free Hiker Lows. Now this is on the lower end of my comfort list. However, this is just an amazingly good pair of sneakers. I've talked about these for a number of years. In fact, I've been a fan of these for probably like 5 years or so, maybe longer. And now they have a low top version, which is perfect for us people that want a low top option. They do feature Adidas Boost in the midsole, and they do retail at $180. The fit is true to size in my opinion. Lots of fused layers on the upper. My pair is pretty cooked. You do have Continental rubber on the outsole as well, so lots and lots of grip. This is one of the few rugged options that I would recommend. So this is a great pair for like hiking and stuff like that, as well as camping and just wearing outdoors. You can obviously trail walk in these as well, but there's lots of really heavy lugs on the bottom. Again, the upper has lots of fused layers, and you can see from the lining, it's actually very waterproof. And I like the overall look and the feel of this pair. Again, they retail at $180, but you can get these on sale for like under $100. A lot of times I post them over on Twitter or Instagram. Make sure you follow me over there if you guys want to see these on sale. They were just on sale for like $90 or something like that. But $180 is at the retail. Worth it, in my opinion, if you need one good waterproof sneaker boot. This is one of the best ones in my opinion. The only other con is that this is the heaviest option on the list. Making this a really rugged option, but again, very heavy. And the only other rugged option on my list, number 9 spot, is going to go to the New Balance Fresh Foam X Hierro V9 Gore-Tex. Mouthful for sure, but this is a beast of a pair of sneakers right here. They do retail at $180, but these are very comfortable. The Fresh Foam X on here is excellent. If you like this pair right here, but it's too heavy and you want something a little bit lighter and a little bit more like just sportier, I guess, this is a really perfect option. I absolutely love the New Balance Fresh Foam X Hierro line. It's my favorite trail runner that they have out of all of the other brands out there as well. Comes in wide versions also for those people that need the extra width. Has the Vibram outsoles, so a lot of nice lug traction on the bottom. You do have toe protect on the toe box as well, making it like almost like a double layer of like rubberizing material for the toe box as well as on the heel. And the Gore-Tex on this is again very good. So sprayed the hose on it. It's very waterproof. No water seeps through. I like the fact that the laces and stuff are like moisture wicking as well. So it like kind of prevents water from absorbing in most of the laces. Again, this one could be higher on the countdown for sure, because it definitely is an incredible pair. But then again, this list is really for comfort. So obviously this is a really good one, but there are a lot of other options out here that are really good as well. Number 8 spot's going to go to the waterproof version of this. This is the On Cloudsurfer 2, which is a very comfortable pair of sneakers. Now the On Cloudsurfer waterproof version was the number 1 spot for me last year. And the reason why it slipped is because of the lawsuit. Frankly, the fact that you have the On and Cloudsurfer midsoles that do have a little bit of squeak, I can't in good faith recommend them to people if they are going to have like squeaky issues. And I did check out my original pair of Cloudsurfers. This is the 2s, but I have the 1s as well. And the 1s do have a little bit of squeak in the midsole. So it is a real thing, unfortunately, for some people out there where the midsoles will definitely squeak. And also somebody said that when you get water inside of the midsole, it definitely squeaks a little bit too. So maybe there's a correlation to the water. Maybe it's just the midsole squeaking. At the end of the day, it's still a very good waterproof sneaker and very comfortable. Being the Cloudsurfer is my favorite version of the On models that they have. But given the fact that they could potentially squeak, and I don't know what On's doing to address the lawsuit yet, For that, I had to drop this one down on the countdown, even though I do find them a little bit more comfortable than some of the other ones. Just given the circumstances, these are the number 8 spot for right now. Also, the price point is a little bit steep at $190 for the waterproof trail versions. They do have a couple other versions as well. Number 8 spot's going to go to the Nike Pegasus 41 Gore-Tex. This one came out after my top 5 video last year, which it probably would have been in that top 5 if I would have got these before. And these are really good if you want a nice, comfortable pair of Nikes, especially if you like the Nike branding on the shoe. If you like the regular Pegasus 41s, these are very much that shoe with a little bit of upgrades. One being the fact that they're using Gore-Tex Invisible Fit for the upper, making these very waterproof. And then also for the outsole, they have the Nike Storm Tread, which is pretty nice and grippy. Now on certain surfaces, you might actually slip around. I found that a little bit unfortunate. It's like the Storm Tread, but on some surfaces, it can be a little bit slippery. That being said though, these are a really good option and they are pretty comfortable overall as well, being the midsole is Nike React X. But still, the fact that this is only the number 7 spot on the countdown lets us know that there's a lot of good competition out there. I do want to mention that I like the quilted tongue on this one. I think it looks really nice. But all in all, this is a great option if you're interested. Now, the 41 Gore-Texes retail at $170. However, the Trail 5 versions, so if you want a trail version, the Trail 5s, which is kind of a mid-top, those ones retail at $180, but you can get those on sale for like $120s or so. So again, I'll link those in the description as well. The trails are another positive option as well. It's in the Pegasus line. I personally like the Pegasus 41s better than the trail. The trail collar, I just never really vibed with. All right, so number 6 spot, we do have a pair from Brooks, and this is the Brooks Ghost 17 Gore-Tex. So the Gore-Tex Invisible Fit, honestly, a really dope thing. They need to start including this on other pairs of sneakers as well. Let's get even crazier. Let's put that Invisible Fit Gore-Tex on the Glycerin Maxes. That's my favorite shoe from Brooks. But this is a really solid option. The retail is $170 on these pros. For me, I think it's a decent looking shoe. First of all, I like that it looks like just a standard runner, but it is waterproof, and I think that that is pretty rad. I also like the reinforced fused sides of the shoe as well as for the laces, but the sidewalls are definitely a plus. On the con side though, I do wish that you had a little bit more toe protect because there's not too much here. Again, this is a runner, it's not a trail shoe, so understandably why that is different. I do like the midsole sculpting. I think it looks nice though, and it does use the DNA Loft midsole, which is a nitrogen injected foam. However, I will say this is a firmer foam than like on the Glycerin Maxes. This foam feels more like a memory foam in a sense, where it's a little bit firmer and it's not as like responsive, but overall it's a really comfortable pair nonetheless. So the tongue is half fixed on the bottom, and then you have a little bit of extra wiggle room on the top. The one thing that I will say that they kind of made a mistake on is the lace choice on this one. It is not like a cotton lace, but it definitely absorbs a lot of water. Out of all the pairs that I've tried, this is the one that absorbed the most water, and it's a great looking pair of laces. It just doesn't really fit on the Gore-Tex pair in my opinion. So that would be my one recommendation to them, is just to make it so they have a pair of laces that doesn't absorb as much water. But as somebody that likes the Glycerins, as I mentioned more, the Ghost 17 is not a bad option, and the fact that it's Gore-Tex makes this a definite one for the top 10. All right, so the number 5 spot on my list is going to go to the Adidas Ultraboost 5 Gore-Tex. Now this is the latest and greatest version of the Gore-Tex Ultraboost. The light boost in this is actually really good. Like honestly, it's the most comfortable Ultraboost Gore-Tex version that I've tried, and I've literally tried all of them. It's because the foam stack is massive on here. It's definitely an improvement to the shoe, even though the Ultraboost isn't getting as much love in this day and age as it did like 5, maybe 10 years ago. That being said, I still think it is a viable option if you want something that has a nice waterproof upper. It does have Gore-Tex, as it say on here, and the fact that you don't have any tongue action, and the fact that the tongue is not gusset or anything, it's actually fixed all the way down. You're not going to get any water seepage through at all, which is a plus, but it is kind of a con as well because it's not like ultra stretchable and like really, really easy to get on. It is not as difficult to get on as some of the previous versions of these though, I will mention, but it is still a little bit harder to get on than your average shoe. So you have to kind of pull on it a little bit. You do have the Ultraboost Light again on the midsole, which is nice and responsive and snappy. And then you have the Continental Winter Grip on the outsole. Another con to this though, unfortunately, is the price point at $200, making this the most expensive option I think on this list. So it is very expensive, but they do go on sale towards the end of the season usually. So anytime that these go on sale, I always try to post them, because if you can get these for 130 bucks or something, anything under 150 I think is a super solid deal. $200 is a premium though, unfortunately, and that's the price you have to pay as of right now. But a great pair, and one that I really enjoy wearing. So the number 4 spot's going to go to the New Balance Fresh Foam X 880 V15 Gore-Tex. Now, this is just a standard pair. I don't have the V15 Gore-Tex here. In fact, I don't actually have a pair of them. I opted to buy my wife a pair of them instead. of myself. I do have the previous version, the 14s, and those ones were really good as well, but the 15s overall comfort for the midsole is better than the 14s, which is why I think it's appropriately placed in the number 4 spot on this list. The comfort in the midsole is excellent with the Fresh Foam X. It's very soft in this version of the V15s. The Gore-Tex upper is obviously a plus as well. And the reason why I bought it for my wife is she's actually a nurse and she needed new nursing shoes. And I was like, what about these ones? Because obviously you don't want to get any liquids, any sort of liquids on your shoes, or you want to be able to get them off. So I thought the waterproof option would be the best option. She actually has hers and she leaves them in her locker at work. She uses them that often. And so tried and true, it's definitely a pair that she could wear for nursing for 12 and a half, 13-hour days, which is excellent. I asked her for her feedback and she said there was a little bit of a break-in period for her because they were a little too snug, more snug than the standard version. So the standard version, the mesh is a little bit more relaxed. On the Gore-Tex version, it is a little bit firmer, and because of that, is a little bit snugger. So typically I get her a 7 in New Balance. She's like a 7, 7.5. And then for the Gore-Tex version, though, I probably should have gone up to a 7.5. She did say once she broke in the shoe, though, they're a lot more comfortable now. And all in all, she just really, really likes it. It's a very comfortable pair for her. I also did want to mention they do offer wide versions in this model, which is excellent as well. And all in all, it's a pretty versatile runner. The downside is a price increase. It is $175 now. I really wish it was cheaper, but $175 is the price that we have now. The last thing I would say is I really wish New Balance would create a 1080 V14 or 1080 V15 Gore-Tex version, since the 15s are going to be coming out pretty soon. I absolutely love that model. Better than the 880s. It's a little bit softer on feet. It's just a little bit more plush. And it would be perfect to have a Gore-Tex version of that model as well. So New Balance, if you're hearing me, make a Gore-Tex version of the 1080s and I promise it'll be my number 1 spot every single year. All right, so the number 3 spot's going to go to the Hoka Clifton 9 Gore-Tex. Now, I don't have this model in front of me right now, but I did try this model out and I'm a fan of the Hoka Clifton series. The 10s are the current one right now, and I don't think they have a Gore-Tex 10 version yet. The V9 though is excellent. It's very comfortable overall, and the price point being $165 is actually pretty decent as well. If you're looking for just a standard runner that's going to be comfortable, then like this is usually the one that I recommend. In fact, I like the Hoka Clifton series so much I bought my parents them. They're older and the foam stack is pretty high, but it's a pretty stable foam as well. It's not very squishy or anything. And all in all, like it is basically, again, similar to a lot of these ones out here, an extension of a great shoe. And since there's such an easy transition from the regular Cliftons to now a Gore-Tex version, it's essentially what every brand should be doing, making one of their most popular models into a Gore-Tex version. Asics needs to do it with their Gel Nimbus series, in my opinion. New Balance needs to do it with their 1080 series as well. So there's a lot of other brands that could take note of what Hoka's doing. And if they brought them to the table, then the Hoka Clifton 9 might be dropped down on the countdown a little bit. But for now, this is the number 3 spot. So we made it to the number 2 spot, and this is definitely a shocker to myself. But after trying them on again and again, this is definitely a pair that I think earns its place as one of the most comfortable pairs of Gore-Tex sneakers that you can get on the market currently. And this is the Puma Velocity Nitro 4 Gore-Tex. I believe the Nitro 5 is out now, or maybe it's close to being out, but this is the V4 version with Gore-Tex, and I'll tell you, it's pretty darn incredible. First of all, like, look at the shoe. I think it looks really dope. The midsole sculpting is awesome. The waves and the lines and stuff on the upper is reflective, I believe, and it looks really cool also. But the fact that you have such a fun, just natural looking pair that is also water resistant, I think is really, really cool. You do have the Puma grip on the bottom, which is nice and grippy as well. The overall design, I think, is again the selling point for me, is just I think it looks really, really nice. The best part about it is this is one of the cheapest options on the list for $150. So $150 for this at retail, that's a solid deal, man. And it is very comfortable. This Nitro foam is very, very soft. It's very squishy. Definitely felt underfoot. I took the dogs out in it recently and just very, very impressed with the Nitro foam again. Puma, reach out to me, get a hold of me. I need a contact, man, because I need to try all the things. But I bought this one with the intent to try it out, and I thought it was going to fall lower on the countdown, but lo and behold, it's actually the number 2 spot for myself. Very, very cool. The tongue design, although I don't love the forked, thin tongue thing that they have going on here. Now, one downside I'll mention, I did wear the laces really loose like this. Yes, it is semi-gusseted and it's fixed halfway down just like the rest of them, but the water did seep down a little bit in the shoe. Obviously, if my laces are loose, the water's going to hit here. And because of the tongue, it kind of like just rolled right off of the tongue down into the little section right here where my foot was. So if I tighten the laces, I don't think that would be a problem, but I did want to call it out. it was the only pair that I got a little bit of water in on my socks. All in all, a very solid option, very comfortable. And check out my channel on YouTube. I will have a detailed review of these very soon because I haven't done a specific video on these yet. All right, we made it to the #1 spot on the countdown. If you guys like the video, and then subscribe to the channel if you guys are interested, as well as if you want to buy any of the other options out here, please use the links in the description. Directly supports me and the fam. #1 spot for myself personally is going to go to the Nike Vomero 18 Gore-Tex. I was so geeked when I saw that they had these over on Nike's website. Instantly purchased them because I was very, very interested in see how they were. I'm a huge fan of the Vomero 18, even bigger fan of the Vomero Plus, very hypercritical fan of the Vomero Premiums. I think the Premiums were just too much. The Vomero Pluses is a sweet spot. I wish they had a Vomero Plus Gore-Tex version, but I haven't seen that yet. For now, this is the best we can get, and it's definitely a big difference over the Pegasus 41. So Pegasus 41 also very good, but honestly, the midsole is so much better in the Vomeros for my feet at least. It's way, way more cushioning. This does feature the same ReactX as well as on the Pegasus. However, this also does feature the ZoomX, as it prominently says. Half of the shoe is ZoomX, and then the other half on the midsole is ReactX. So it is a dual density foam, but it's very, very comfortable underfoot. And so as soon as I saw they had a Gore-Tex version, I was all in. Also, something I really like, the fused details on this upper is actually reflective. Definitely noticed that. I was like, this is definitely a plus. I also like that it says Gore-Tex Invisible Fit on here for the proper branding. It does give its flowers here on the tongue as well as on the side, showing prominently that Gore-Tex is being used. You do have the Storm tread on the bottom as well, giving it a little bit of extra rubber, a little extra tread. Now, I did try these on directly next to the regular Vomero 18s, and I will say it is a different fit on the upper. Somebody left me a comment, I think on Twitter. Shout out to them, whoever did that, but they said that they were kind of displeased with the upper. It just wasn't as good as what they hoped. And to that, I would say it's just different because it is Gore-Tex. It's a little bit snugger feeling overall. Like when you get them, the laces are too tight and you have to loosen them up a little bit. So it's not as forgiving on the upper. And that's the case with pretty much all of these sneakers out here with the Gore-Tex Invisible Fit. But it is comfortable, just not as plush feeling as the standard version. But the sizing, I would say, is true to size, the same as the rest of these out here. True to size is what I went with and what I'm happy with. Now, the cost is $180, making these a little bit more expensive than I would have liked, but honestly, worth every penny. $180. It's Nike. We love Nike, but it's also super comfortable with the Vomero line being better, in my opinion, for comfort than the Pegasus line. I think that's the overall intent anyway. But all in all, I think this is an incredibly good entry into this new market now that we've been discovering, which is the most comfortable waterproof sneakers. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, again, subscribe, man. I see a lot of people out there lurking, not subscribed. I will do a review video on these on my channel as well. If you want a little bit more information, check out that review video. But appreciate y'all for stopping in and watching. Hopefully this video is informative again to you guys. And again, links in the description to buy any of the products that I'm talking about for you guys. It was super fun to be able to make this. And again, if you guys have other suggestions for other pairs, like the Solomon ones I saw a lot of people mention, which looks like a pretty cool Gore-Tex pair, but the midsole comfort doesn't look like it's a very comfortable comparison. If I'm wrong, leave a comment, let me know. But you know, I need to try some of the other ones out as well. And your guys' feedback and stuff is imperative. Anyway, hopefully we'll see you back on the channel for some more sneaker content very, very soon. All right, peace, guys.